being on time. Hey everyone, this is the After Party After Show. I hope you're all doing well. This is a great panel. Sammy, Paul Camish, Simply Secular Dave, and Glenn Chesterton. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Glenn. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah. I'll go back to work today. So it's I've had since Easter Friday or so. Don't know how I feel about it, not relying on the government anymore, but I've got to do it because it's not enough money that the government gives me. So.
Yeah. Well, the lockdown just ended for you, right, Glenn?
Well, they were supposed to, in terms of eating in at restaurants, you can eat in at restaurants, but the patios can open. And it was supposed to be starting Tuesday, but they moved it up to today. So we're now all good to have restaurants, but only patio service. So
yeah.
And takeout, because takeout we've had all the way through the lockdown anyway. So there's issues like, for instance, ridiculously, you couldn't go golfing or play tennis during a lockdown, even though the interaction, there's more social distancing in golf than there is anything, right? So didn't make a lot of what Ford does not make sense, but whatever.
True enough.
Okay, so I actually did see a video on YouTube. Farron Cousins, I think it's either one of his, I forget which one of his podcasts, was saying that some good news. Lauren Boebert apparently is in a lot of trouble because her constituents are pissed at her because they thought she was a breath of fresh air. That small business owner, they'd stand up for her, but she's voted with Donald Trump every single time, including the stimulus package, which hurts her because she's got they need a railway through their area because they make parts or something for railway in her area. So there's a chance she might actually be voted out, which
I think one of the potential benefits of the stimulus of the infrastructure bill, whenever it passes, is that it will put, it just puts money into the economy. It'll make people maybe, they call it a positive reinforcement, or bribe or whatever it is. But maybe people will just vote Democrat in basis of that for that reason.
Well, the only problem with it also is that the other QAnon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is still ridiculously popular in her district. So, you can't win them all.
Not that I'm keen to not to dive straight into old Marjorie. Wow, that sounds horrible now that I've said it. I don't want to dive into Marjorie in any sense of the word, but I have a few things I just wanted to address before my phone dies because I've got it scribbled here on my phone. From your live stream earlier, Andy, first thing, how do we spell biscuit?
Just the way you would, here in American English, right? I don't know. I guess that's in the American spelling.
Oh, you went with the actual biscuit spelling.
Yeah,
I
decided.
Biscuit.
Sammy, I'm not that smart, and I want to keep it simple. So I want to keep it simple. So I just thought it would be like the biscuit you'd find on Bisquick. Biscuit. Okay. And I didn't want to go with the Limp Bizkit kind of reference either, since I wasn't a big fan of their music.
Yeah, no, they suck.
Limp Bizkit is what happens when college kids make music.
Yeah.
When frat boys make music.
Frat boys. Indeed.
Second point was I wasn't insulting you in the chat. I was trying to help you pronounce bitumen. It's
thank
bitumen.
You. Is it that? Wow, bitumen, huh?
Yeah. So it's basically asphalt.
Yeah.
But it's the liquidy stuff.
Right. It's very, very sludgy.
Yeah.
When I work on the dock, we have very, very expensive pipes that come in to move that stuff, and they have to be they're like fiberglass insulated. They can only be like, I think it's 60 feet long max. They have special couplers at the end. They have pumps and heaters on them. And the complexity of what's going on in northern Alberta at the oil sands is far greater than what can be covered in an article or a 1 hour talk show. but
Mhm.
it is responsible for the West being as prosperous as it is, because all that oil has to travel through British Columbia to get to the docks, to the ships, to the, there's a lot more going on there than just let's mow down some land and take some oil out of the sand. Not to mention, Canada is, I believe, ranked #1 specifically in the oil sands for recovery of land after their oil extraction operations. So when they say, oh, yeah, it's destroying the land, no one lives there. It's a freaking tar pit. No one lives there. And they are recovering it to its original natural state when they leave. So.
All right. You put in a couple of assertions there, sir. I might just look up about the no one lives there. No one lives there.
Being Canadian and being one of the people who was desperately involved in doing all that research when the pipeline was first proposed, and how it was going to come through British Columbia, and how there was tax monies to be had, and how many jobs were going to be won by it, and how many jobs were going to be lost if we lost it. What our competition looks like globally for that oil when it gets to market. All those things factor into it, and it's a huge. I mean, it would be one of those, those crime dramas where they have little pictures and the strings all over the whole wall. And it looks like a path is that's what it looks like.
So, Dave, just I don't want to characterize you as an apologist for tar sands, because you're not.
Go ahead, throw it out there. It's fine.
But is it true that, as I said in the article, that this process actually emits more greenhouse gases than regular petroleum, getting it out of the ground? And
absolutely, it does. But
okay,
it's not to what you would call a significant factor.
Are we talking about it's not at a Chernobyl level of environmental disaster? It's somewhat underneath Chernobyl?
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about the difference between extracting oil in Texas, let's say in the Gulf of Mexico or whatever, south of Texas there, there's more damage done by that one oil derrick that blew up and fell over than there has been in the entire history of the Alberta oil sands. Right. So, I mean, we're talking about the difference between extracting oil normally and extracting oil from the oil sands. It is a more labor-intensive process, and it does take energy to steam essentially that oil product, the bitumen, into a sellable product. It also costs a lot more to get it to market.
Oh yes, it does.
Where it is. Yeah. So the market for Canadian oil, they literally stop making Canadian oil when the market drops below $50 a barrel.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not financially viable.
Which is also a point with America and with the way how oil is right now, the price of oil is going up just because the world economies are getting back online. But in the long term, the price of oil is going to go down, and it's going to go down. I mean, I'm not a brilliant person saying this. There's a lot smarter people saying that the price of oil is going to go down within our lifetime. And for me, that's not maybe that long, like 20, 30 years or something. So
I think it's closer to 50, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
There is a change. There is an imminent change happening.
It seems ridiculous to put so much time and effort into Keystone Pipeline when there are other sustainable, less damaging sources out there.
But there is such an infrastructure, and this is all part of the big puzzle. There is such an infrastructure right now with Encana and Enbridge and TCPL, these big companies that are in the Alberta oil sands that are working, that have 50,000 employees, that have, are equivalent to 401ks involved, that are paying people's Medicare, that are funding the taxation in Alberta that makes the province viable. It makes it like there is an equality payment between provinces, and Alberta is way at the top of that list, putting money into provinces like Quebec who are struggling.
The nature of our, and this is, I think, for any important industry, right? Any industry that an economy is really based on or depends on. It's kind of like what Jefferson said about slavery. You got the wolf by the ears. You don't want to let it go because it's going to bite you. There's going to be some negative effects of transitioning from this type of economy that we have now, a fossil fuel economy, to a green economy. There's no doubt about that.
I
And
disagree about the negative effects if it's done properly. If it's left in the hands of the government, it's probably not going to be done properly.
so Dave, are you saying that in a perfect world, and if everything works out well, it'll go without a hitch?
I think if Elon Musk lived in Canada, we would already have stopped taking oil sands out because he would have figured out a way. Well, we already know the way to make an almost endless supply of energy in British Columbia. With there's been 4 dams proposed. The Site C Dam. If you ever want a good read, look up the Site C Dam. But back in 1985, British Columbia proposed 4 hydroelectric power plants to dam off 4 different very small places in British Columbia. It would have provided enough energy that would now have been able to sustain British Columbia, Alberta, Washington, Montana, Oregon, and the northern half of California. So we could have been selling electricity to the United States at 3 times the level we were using had we built these back in 1985. But now California has all these solar power plants and wind farms and other clean energy. And even if we built them now, they wouldn't buy them from us.
So Tobin, I just saw your comment there. Something serious has happened to someone.
Yeah. What he's talking about is there was sirens in the background. Somebody strange. There was like police sirens or something in the background.
Just hand yourself in, Glenn. Don't resist. It's not worth it, mate.
Give yourself up.
And sorry, boys. Not that I don't want to dive right into oil. See what I did there?
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
I've got 2% left. So what else did I have? Blazing. Glenn, for the love of fictitious God, thank you.
I had to do that. I'm sorry, Glenn, brother. I think you're, yeah.
Try actually unsubbing and wait like a day or so and then resub and make sure you do it with the bell, and it will usually kickstart the notifications again. Because I've had a few people that I follow, the main people I follow, I wasn't being notified for.
Okay.
The other thing is,
I figured try the on-off thing. So
the other thing is, if you have it open on two screens at the same time, like if you have your phone plugged in to YouTube as a user, or your iPad and your computer, if they're all plugged in at the same time, log out of all of them except one, unsubscribe, wait an hour, and then log out, like unsubscribe and then log out of the one that you unsubscribed from. Wait an hour and log back in, like shut it off overnight or something like that, right? And then in the morning, resubscribe. It should be fine.
Okay. Yeah. So, Dave, I didn't have the ability to tell you that you're wrong about a variety of different points that you brought up about oil sands because I was looking at Tobin's and then figuring out what was going on with the chat. So I'm going to have to put a pin on that. And also, I just want to let everyone, I just want to let the panelists know that I cannot access the private chat because if I do, then I'm going to start chopping, basically. I don't know if it's like my computer. I don't know if it's StreamYard.
Just me telling Glenn you should mute before. And last thing,
I just got a quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, just got a quick question. This is going to make me sound really like a noob or anything. But is the pipeline, is it just a way to transport it, or is it just a way to get it out of the oil out of the ground?
I got only parts of that. Did anyone hear the whole thing?
The Keystone Pipeline was actually meant to move the finished product from the oil sands processors to the coast, basically to put it on ships. So there was also a big debate about putting oil in ships on the coast of British Columbia and risking an accident like what happened in Prince William Sound in Alaska, right? So but there are pipes that go out. There are pipes that go out every day from British Columbia, from the ports here, to get the raw product from where it's being extracted to the processing facilities. And right now, all that oil is traveling down the highway on trucks. It's not like it's not moving. It's not like this is going to stop. It's just very expensive to get it to market. If you put it on a train or you put it on a truck and you move it to market, as opposed to pumping it through a pipeline, is much, much cheaper.
So it's much cheaper, but the environmental concerns, that if the pipe bursts, there's obviously more environmental concerns that way, or
there is. And the thing is, it's easier to stop the process via trucks than it is via pipeline. Once again, you have the pipeline for 20 or 30 years, so you own it. And so it is far easier to stop the addiction when you're not as reliant on it.
So if you're talking about stop as in arrest the flow, there are all kinds of, like I said, that where these pipes are connected, and everywhere there's a pump, there's
Dave, let's be serious for a minute, right? You're talking about huge infrastructure, billions of dollars spent, of hundreds, thousands of miles of pipeline, right? Of course, physically you're able to shut it off, but in a real political sense, it's far more difficult to shut it off than just telling truck drivers, hey, we don't need it anymore.
Oh, no, I understand. I wasn't trying to say like from that perspective. I mean, from a physical perspective of an oil spill, there are far more, like the pipelines that are built today are completely different from the ones that were built in the 70s. The 70s were just connected pipe, and they ran a flow through it, and they ran a huge pump at one end, and they ran intense pressures. And if there was ever a blowout, it would take a week for that oil to stop flowing. They don't do that anymore. They put pipe pumps along the pipe so that if there's ever a blowout in one section, they can shut it off quickly. They're very concerned about the environmental effects of it. But what you're saying about the socio-political aspect of saying, okay, we're not going to do oil anymore. If you build this project, we're going to do oil for the next 50 to 100 years, period. You're committed. That's it.
Yeah. No one will be the one to turn off the money tap.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Until there's something to replace it, period.
Can someone tell me? No, Sammy, I was on Rage's. Chris Maria mentioned about Rage last night. I was only on I only watched what was going on Rage's channel. He had an open room, and what was going on with that, dude? I saw that you were there. You were one of the panelists.
Oh, excuse me.
I didn't notice anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It just seemed like.
I mean, his streams go for like 3+ hours, and multiple things will happen. But the stream will go so long that they'll often resolve themselves within the stream. So who said it?
Chris Maria.
Maria, what were you referring? Oh, after I left. Okay.
So I just got to say, there's a lot of long streams on what they call atheist channel. Long, like you could sober up during a stream. You know, at 4.5 hours when you're like, man, I smoked a lot of weed at the start of this, but it's not funny anymore.
You know, I have to tell you something. When I do atheist drinking out loud, I feel like I got 2 hours in me. I feel like I got 2 hours in the tank. And after that, man, I am not fit. I'm just not fit. And actually, probably for the last half hour, I'm not really that well.
I really enjoyed the, oh boy, it was 3 months ago or something when you got slashed on the show. And yeah, it was very entertaining for us.
Well, I try to be, well, you know, people say that they get funny when they're drunk, but I think, you know, I'm not a mean drunk. It just really kind of brings out the personality I already have, which is I just want to have fun, have a couple of laughs.
Years ago, I used to play on
the bullshit tolerance goes down as well. Like, you don't get meaner. You're short of fuse.
Yeah.
A little bit short of fuse.
Yeah.
Years ago, I used to play on a soccer team, and I had to go for drug testing for work for machine operator, so I couldn't drink. But I told the guys, hey, feel free to drink your brains out. I'll make sure everybody gets home okay. Everybody lived within, 15, 20 minutes of this bar. So I was going to do the designated driver thing. And I shit you not, after 45 minutes, an hour and a half, I was sitting there and like, you guys are all sitting here laughing and having a great old time, but you are not funny when I'm sober.
So, Paul, I know you had something you wanted to share with us, brother. Do you want to share that screen? Oh, here it is. I think something's happening down there.
No,
right.
I haven't shared it yet.
Okay, if you want to share it, we can.
Yeah, I will do. I'll just let everyone know roughly what it's about. If you were watching Laughing in Disbelief prior to this, when the magnet thing comes up where you stick the magnet. Well, I was on a live stream a couple of weeks ago, and this particular person that was on my live stream, I was betting that he was going to come up with it. And about 20 minutes into the live stream, he did. Well, I had it all set up, ready to do this trick on him, and I got him a corker. So I'll just share my screen so you can see it.
All right. All right. I'm waiting to see the screen to share, and I don't see. Oh, wait, and here.
Yeah, I'm just doing it
that's
now.
Glenn back. All right, back to Glenn. And now I am still looking for the screen to share, and I don't see it.
Yeah, wait a sec. Hang on, I'm just getting that.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Ray is here.
The suspense is killing me. This better be good, Paul.
Wow.
Can you see it now?
I can see it, brother. It's right there on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can talk about anything really. To be honest, it was just something that because we were talking, weren't we? In was it Imagine Praises channel when we was
right. This is tried it myself, and I only got it to stick on like 2 out of 10 people per se. So it doesn't seem to stick on everybody. Is what I'm getting at. It seems to only stick to very few of the people.
So what's this saying then? Your skin gets magnetized.
Seems like it. I don't know what to make of it just yet.
So that was him explaining about the magnetized where the injection was. So I basically what they call it went and got a magnet. I'll just get it to the point where.
I'm sorry.
Where they're turning us into antenna.
I can't see. So what you're saying? You think it's a microchip that's gone into your arm? So that's so.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't think they're putting it on everybody. I think all these vaccines. Some are coming from China. Some are coming from Johnson and Johnson. Some from Moderna. Some from AstraZeneca. So they're all a little different. And then there's something else that's kind of interesting too. It could be something in the syringe. So the vaccine itself comes in a vial, but then it could be something in syringe. It's just like the way they've been microchipping dogs. There's actually it's not in the liquid itself that you're pulling from the vial. It's already in the syringe. So I don't know what it is. Real scary stuff, but let's see what happens.
Right. So does it?
All right. So I removed that because I didn't know what the sounds were coming from. And sometimes I wonder.
Yeah, it would be nice if you just put it on somewhere else just so you can see the magnet fall off.
And so, all right, yeah, because the sounds were driving me nuts. To tell you the truth.
What was the sound going both ways?
Yeah,
was it?
I think it was
I wonder if I
Glenn.
have to mute myself, maybe.
Yeah. I just did I just mute myself? And to tell you the truth, right? I don't have many.
It was Glenn.
It was Glenn. All right.
Yeah,
so,
it's coming from somewhere else.
I got to tell you something, right? I have tendencies of being on the spectrum. I've said that many times, and some of the stuff is sensory overload, especially the audio stuff. It does kind of drive me crazy, and I try to be really chill about it. But what you say is like it kind of starts ratcheting up in my head. It's like it just has to stop. I don't know how I'm going to make it stop, but I'm going to make it stop. I'm sorry, it was just me popping off right now about the sound stuff. My kids have the same thing. My kids have the same thing about the sensory stuff. It's it just drives us kind of nutty. So I feel better now. I feel better. I can breathe. Thank you. Thank you for your tolerance, everyone.
What that guy actually said was that 2 out of 10 people don't wash properly or are stickier than the other.
I went and got a magnet off my fridge, and I actually put it on my arm, and it stuck.
Well, you know,
are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. It was just going to get to the bit where I put it on, and I cannot get the magnet off. It's stuck that fast. I cannot get it off my arm. Do you just want to see that bit?
Okay, let's see if I can manage
You're
my
killing
brain.
me, Paul.
All right.
Right.
So here we are. We got.
I want to see your face.
And then if it does stick, I don't know if it's gonna stick to you or not. You guys might not be.
Well,
you know.
This is the arm I didn't have the injection done on.
You did it?
I didn't. No.
All right.
I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, bro. I see you're all tatted up, man. You were a wild young man, huh?
Yeah. Right. So this is the one that I got the injection on. So you're saying if I stick that on there, it should stick?
No, I'm saying only like 25% of the people that have gotten vaccinated it sticks to. Not everybody. Well, you're one of the 25%, brother. I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's doing. However, I will advise you to not get any more shots because maybe there's a way to counteract whatever is going on. But
What the?
That's actually stuck. Proper stuck.
That is hilarious, Paul. That is so what I did, what I figured out what to do was to silence Paul's mic while playing the video, and that made my brain okay, everyone.
Right, I'll put it to the bit where I actually get it off and I come back in.
Okay, dude. Yeah. Tell me when you're ready to, fast forward it and everything. And tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready now. Share it now. This is where I've finished. So I tried it on several occasions trying to get it off. And this is
what were you going to say, Sammy, before we dive back in?
Are you now a believer?
Paul cannot count. He won't comment whether or not he's a believer. All right.
Okay, cool, man.
Share it again, and I'll show you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's so it is now on screen, sir. It is now on screen.
So now I've managed to get it off.
Right.
did you get it off?
Yeah, I've got it off. What I did is I got this bit of card thing and slid it in between it to push it off. And yeah, it's off. It's here.
Well, I didn't think it was gonna work, Paul. I was skeptical. Everybody else I seen that they didn't have that much of a hard time pulling it off. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry that happened to you, bro.
No, but the thing is, Iger, is do you not think that people could be winding you up and you're gullible and you just accept what you see on video?
Oh, all right. So you were faking it.
There's some rubber on it.
Oh, all right. So you were super prepared for it.
Oh, I was prepared for it, yeah. So it sticks.
All right.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, Iger. You believe in stuff that's been put on YouTube or on videos, and because it seems to...
Man, why you gotta scare people like that, bro? I thought there was something wrong with you.
To show you how easy it is for people to be fooled.
You're a good actor.
And that's what people are doing. They're fooling you. You're watching stuff on video on YouTube that comports with what you believe, and you're not questioning it. Now, these videos that are getting put on, people are doing the same as what I'm doing.
So Paul, so I'm going to unmute Paul. I'm going to remove this. So Paul, if you could send me a clip of that, I'll put it up on the blog. I'll put it up on my blog. And oh wait, you're still muted. I'm sorry, sir. All right, unmuted the mic. So Paul, if you want to send me that clip, or I'll just go on. Wow,
what's that noise again?
It's Glenn.
It's
yes,
Glenn. Glenn, I'm
I
sorry,
do
Glenn.
love you, Glenn. I love you so much, but I fucking hate your phone.
No, actually, that was something I was carrying while I was shopping.
Okay. I think Dave's saying something, but
Where
now
are we?
he's
Are we at
muted.
Walmart or something?
Yeah, Dave. Are we
I've
on
got a
muted?
reversing truck.
Yeah. All right.
No, I thought he was at the self checkout. It sounded like he
Andy
was.
knows.
I was.
I'm the
I was at
same.
the self checkout, and it was insane as all hell in there, as
We
usual. It's
could
Costco,
hear.
you know.
I'm even further on the spectrum than Andy, so the sounds really do my head in, unfortunately.
It's like having a woodpecker standing on your ear, beating the hell out of your brain.
I think that when people see me do the spasm of anger, I think I really have to say, this is me just doing spectrum stuff. You're gonna have to excuse me for like a minute or two. I look like a normie, but really, there's a lot of not normie stuff going on here, man. There's a lot.
You're
of
raging inside, aren't you? You're absolutely inside.
Oh yeah. It's completely.
Yeah, I'll try and get that bit clipped out from where he brings it up. He goes through the videos. His videos are pretty bad, and then the bit where I go through it all. I'll try and get that bit clipped out, and I'll see somewhere and send it to you.
That's magic.
I salute you, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
That is the fucking funniest thing I've seen in a long time, Paul.
My brother was watching it live, and he even phoned me afterwards, and he went. He said, "You had me fooled." He says, "Because I know you don't pull tricks like that. If you're basically you're down the line." He says, "And when you did that," he says, "I was head scratching, thinking there must be something in this. If that's done that to my brother, there's got to be something in it." He said it was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I loved it. It was a
job well done.
It was so frustrating though, because in the beginning, every time I see this guy on live streams, 9 times out of 10, he comes up with these magnets sticking. And I thought, right, he's on my live stream tomorrow. I'm going to try and get him. So I've got it all prepared. So I had a little bit of this rubber glue on my arm. I had the rubber glue on me on this magnet. And I thought, he's got to be the one to bring it up. I couldn't be the one to bring it up because then he would have an idea that I was trying to fool him.
Yeah.
So he had to mention everything. I could not mention the magnets at all. And about 20 minutes into the live stream, I thought, he's not going to mention it. How am I going to mention it? Anyway, he just said, "Just got to show you these videos." And when it came on, it was that. I was like, yes, got him.
So what are you going to say, Sammy?
The most beautiful part is that he's in. Just think what was going through his mind. He's watching that and he's going, "Fuck, it is real."
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be rich and famous from this shit.
But the most annoying thing was, right, after I'd shown him how I'd done it, shortly after what you'd just seen there, I showed him I explained how I'd done it, explained that people do the same thing and they're just winding you up. And even after that, because I put my top back on, even after that, he got me to take my top back on and actually try it for real this time to see if it stuck. And I went, you still think this is real? And he went, yes. I said, after I've shown you all this, you still think it's real? And he went, and I thought,
the thing that I am concerned with is that they are going to selectively clip that. And there is going to be a video going around on Parler and TikTok and in those circles that says, magnetism denier proves himself wrong. And it's going to be a video of you going, "Oh, it stuck to my arm."
Yeah. I just want to talk about what Tobin Templeman said, because he too has a trouble with the background noises going on. So this is, and maybe you can relate, Sammy, because you're always thinking to yourself, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my own stuff. And maybe everyone else is cool with this, but I don't really know. So I go through this I'm kind of paralyzed by this kind of background, going through my head, trying to figure out, well, should I just do this or should I do that? And then,
it's worse with headphones.
Yeah,
because it's
in
direct and it's
dude. Yeah. So
I think the overall issue that you've proved is that that when people are wanting to believe something, they're going to believe it, right? Like and even when evidence is contrary, like with most stuff in the world, where people put their faith in something that you can't prove, So it's Like you got these idiots that that the chance of if someone's a QAnon or flat earther of believing that Bill Gates is going to try microchip you when when you already got a microchip in the phone that you're posting from is you can fool enough people enough times, and that's proof positive with these mega preachers that make billions while their followers are bankrupt from giving them all their money. It's what happens, right?
Absolutely.
So
And these
I'm not surprised these idiots believe it, and
idiots, all right. It's not chips in the vaccine. It's the Wi-Fi working with the vaccine that makes you magnetic.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, I'm not getting my 5G phone, so I'm fine. As long as I don't get my 5G phone,
You'll be
I'm fine,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as I get my 5G phone, I'm fucked.
You do realize that it'll be like VHS, though. There will be a time where there won't be anything lower than 5G.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
And
because
we're all screwed then.
I
We'll
didn't
all be
believe
walking around with metal shit stuck to us. And
Yeah, you'll walk into the kitchen and you'll walk back out with all knives and forks and spoons stuck to you.
Yeah. I haven't said
listen,
hello.
I like that. I loved Magneto. I want to become Magneto.
Yeah,
if I can
Magneto.
steal as well, I'm good.
Magneto's a good villain. Some pretty superpowers there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't said hello to Rage. I feel like I should say hello to Rage. He's been quiet. I think he's probably just a bit more baked than some of us here. So I'll just say hello to Rage because
What's up, man?
and less
I'm
like than some.
I'm just waking up actually, and I came in and I heard you was asking what happened in the room last night, so I was gonna jump in.
Please, what happened?
Well, so
can I
it was
pause just for 1 second? I'm going to ask Glenn when you're not talking to mute your mic, sir. I'm going to pray. I'm going to just ask you because it's like the Chinese water torture. I don't even know what the woke version of that is, but
you're more welcome to mute me because I'm driving right now, so you might be hearing the.
Okay, I'll do that, brother. Okay.
We're hearing everything. We're hearing your soul, Glenn.
I can hear it.
That's bullshit because I don't have a fucking soul.
Well,
Glenn,
then
shut up!
Then I can hear how you smell.
It's true. It's all true. Okay, Rage. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's cool. So, I'm on a lot of medications right now, and so like when I started an open room, I haven't been doing open rooms lately since I've been on these medications, mainly because they go late, and it's late when all of this shit kind of kicks in, right? So, doing fine. I was the voice of reason. Khalil Allah came in, and John hadn't experienced Khalil yet. And John, he's dealt with a lot of ex-Muslims, so he has this image of Islam that is probably going to contrast with Khalil Allah. I'm being reasonable, but I noticed it. There was a point that came up. My lighter ran out, and I had to run next door. And usually, like I just walk next door, but I got in my car, and as I was driving to get the lighter, I'm like, I should probably end the stream soon because I'm really starting to feel these pills. But that didn't happen. I came back and I let it continue. At some point, those pills really kicked in. So the sedative hypnotics really kicked in, and we got on philosophy, and everybody knows how I feel about philosophy. I'm not a big fan. I think Leo made a comment along the lines of, philosophy is science, which is not correct. That's not a correct statement to make. But something was said.
You know what, Ray? When someone said something that fucking asinine to me, they're asking for an ass whipping.
Yeah, well, and I flipped out. I basically went off and was like, "Fuck philosophy," and I did my flip out thing that I would usually do, like, back in the day when I was drunk. So I had John call me afterwards, like, "Hey, man," and John knows. So John was just like, "You're not drinking again." And I'm like, "No, the pills, dude. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna sleep this shit off." And I think John ended up explaining to Leo, because Leo, I guess, asked to say, "Is Rage drinking again?" And it was like, "No, it's the pills, guy." And it was. The pills just kicked in. I should have ended that stream. I started it at 6 so I could end it at 10. I should have ended it at 10. I knew eventually those pills would kick in and I'd become intoxicated. So that's what happened.
To say that philosophy is the same as science, you're either ignorant of the terms or you're being disingenuous.
Yeah, the best quote that I can remember is from Bertrand Russell, and he said, religion asked questions, science answered them, philosophy somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
to me, philosophy is like playing chess with words, isn't it? That's what philosophy is, really.
Well, that's sophistry. So there is a difference between philosophy, which is an actual attempt of discovering certain truths, and there's sophistry, where it is nothing but chess game. It's basically debating. That's all that is. Sammy, what were you going to say?
I was just going to ask Knock. So what happened that was different than any other normal Knock stream?
Yeah, and nothing really. But I did end up, I got pissed and I ended the stream. I'm done. I really can't. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of hazy in my memory. Like, I was intoxicated. These sedative hypnotics are basically alcohol in a pill.
Yeah, Dave, Knock, can you pull your mic back about 25% because you're maxing it out on my end?
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you guys are hearing.
I probably have it too close.
You get excited and yeah.
So I mean, it turned into a shit stream, but it was, like, I thought, a pretty good stream. Like, it started with some hilarity with Tom and it just, like, somebody said something and those pills had kicked in and I went off.
Yeah. Did you feel it? Did you feel it coming on you, Ray?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like when I got in the car and I went next door to get a lighter because my lighter ran out midstream and I can't smoke my bowl without my lighter. I'm like, yeah, this shit is kicking in.
You man, how far next door if you've got to go in your car?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how far is next door when you have to jump
I
in the
was
car
thinking the same.
It's literally like I could walk there in 2 minutes. Usually I would just walk there, but I was streaming, so I got in my car to make it a little quicker.
But
maybe
like,
that was
my neighbour's over my fence.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if I go next door, literally just walk out my front door, step over the wall, and I'm next door.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Across the road, but it's close.
But you thought you needed to take
But
your car.
you drove.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped in the car to make it just a couple minutes earlier, and because I had John going at Khalil. It was right when Khalil came in. John was going at him, and I'm like, I've got to go get a lighter. John, I'm going to leave you in charge. I hope I don't regret it. And then I got back, and John is going at Khalil, and I'm like, oh, John, just like, wait a minute, hold up.
I just want to say that science is a. If we were going to have a discussion about philosophy versus science, it's like science is a particularly very useful form of philosophy. It is philosophy that works in the real world. But not all philosophy is science.
Yeah, and that's my point. Like my thing with philosophy is, I don't have nothing against philosophy itself. I'm studying it. It's interesting. It's the way that people use it. And it seems to me that a lot of people use philosophy to justify their shitty ideas or how they're shitty towards other people. For instance, like right-wingers will oftentimes use philosophy to justify their bigotries. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Hating gay people is wrong, shit like that. And it's just like, fuck philosophy. I don't really care about it. And I'm definitely not going to look at it like some kind of science that I should adhere to.
Yeah, yes. Well, science obviously is a self-correcting process. Philosophy, you have discussions, but there's nothing inherent about non-scientific philosophy that is hip and jowl with data, with the real world. I mean, there's, and that's a gross oversimplification of it. I think Glenn's back with us.
Yeah,
but I definitely I remember losing my shit, and it was probably uncalled for. But I'm gonna go live and explain it here in a little bit because I got to talk about Brett Keane anyway. But That's the reason I don't do these super late streams anymore. The few times that I've done it, I'd come on the next day like, man, I really got to stop going late because these pills are killing me. And once I have the surgery, I'll be off the pills and it won't be an issue. But just until that surgery happens, I can't do those super late streams because eventually it's gonna happen. That shit's gonna kick in, and it's.
Yeah.
So tell me, Rage, is this Brett Keane? Is it Keane or Keener?
It's Keen.
Brett Keane, is he bipolar? Because, and I'll say it right out there. I watched you talk to him, and I thought, okay, this isn't who I thought he was, because this is a pretty decent guy, like one of the most decent Christians I've heard in a while. And then he went on your stream and had his avatar set as he did to have a go at John, and it was like Smokey Saint sort of shit.
Oh yeah, and it hasn't taken long. Like, so Brett came back. I've always done this with Brett. Like, I give him the benefit of the doubt when I really shouldn't. He's got an extensive history here on YouTube. He's done a lot of shitty things, but I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I try to be nice, and I was super nice. So we had what I thought was a pretty decent conversation. It took all of 24 hours for him to get pissy. John did a stream where John was giving his opinion on what on the conversation I had with Brett. John's entitled to his opinion. I'm not gonna, I'm not the arbiter of John that I'm gonna force him to be nice to Brett Keane or say nice things about Brett Keane. Well, Brett Keane wanted me to take that video down and wanted me basically to get rid of John. And I'm like, no. and when I said no, immediate change. So now he's doing videos. He's talking about my family. He's being Smokey Saint. But it's what Brett Keane does. I mean, honestly, people like Smokey, people like Will. They got their playbook from this guy.
Yeah.
Well, so basically, he doesn't want anyone to have an opinion that he can contradict.
Yeah, pretty much. He thinks that I should, make people be nice to him since I was nice to him that one time. That's essentially what he thinks.
Well, that's not how a stream works, right? You all have your own opinions. Sometimes it gets heated, right?
Yeah. He's something else, man. He's something else. So I guess it got brought up last night. One of the things is he's been convicted of beating his wife. People have found what those records go public. People found them, and that's something that gets talked about. So once he started talking about John, that got brought up, right? And so now he's saying that for one, that we lied about him. Like, no, that you literally have been charged and convicted of this. People have brought your criminal record out, but now he's saying that I did that. So that's what I'm going to be addressing today. Is this video where he says that I beat my ex, and I'm like, no, I don't know where you're getting that. I don't have no criminal history that says that, and I've never said that on stream.
I speak Christian, and that translates. We would say, I know you are, but what am I?
It's just it literally took 24 hours of me being nice to the guy for him to show himself. That's basically what happened. And again, like, I still haven't technically been mean yet. Like, even yesterday when we were talking about it, and I was talking about it with John, I was like, still, like, compared to Smokey, this ain't nothing. Brett Keane is a decent dude. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long.
Like the depths that they seem to go to, I seem to harp on about it all the time, and I think people have come to expect it. So everyone looks at me like, "What did you expect?" But it's not Christian behavior.
No,
it's just not Christian behavior, and they don't call each other out. They don't call themselves out. If you call them out, they laugh it off.
I agree with that. Like, most Christians outside of this YouTube thing, the Christians on YouTube, if they find out you're an atheist, they're not gonna. they're not going to generally be negative to you. They might shy away from you. They might have whatever thoughts that they have, but they're not going to be rude and say awful things. The Christians here on YouTube, and I think, Andy's talked about it before. It takes a certain person to do YouTube, so I think we just get a certain kind of Christian mostly. I mean, there's some good Christians on YouTube.
Well, my cousin, who's a preacher, knows I'm a Christian, knows I'm an atheist, and doesn't attack me every time I post something atheist on it. If there's something that I share that is historically or incorrect, he will comment about it. But I mean, the amount of times I posted atheist stuff, he doesn't even say anything, because he knows what I am as a person, and he knows that I just don't believe in religion. That's all.
Yeah.
And that's a decent person.
I don't think that. Yeah, most people, when they find out that I'm an atheist, they don't freak out and, oh my God, you're evil. They might get that look in their eye, but they don't say it.
I'm realizing it's the nature of the beast that this is a platform to say something. The nice Christians are the ones you meet on the street, keep it to themselves, aren't pushing it on people. The Christians here are here for a reason, that they have something to push.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also
the same with the atheists.
They're in for a fight. But I mean, let's be fair. Us atheists are here for exactly the same thing, aren't we?
Yeah.
The normal atheist, I suppose, that you see walking down the street, he doesn't care one way or the other. He doesn't get into the conversation. I suppose we come on these or make videos about Christianity and atheism so that we can poke the best.
These low levels that they stoop to, I don't see. And I know they're just going to cry, I'm biased because I am atheist or in the atheist community.
I'll be back in a minute.
But I don't see atheists stooping to those levels.
Well, I've seen
not to the degree.
Yeah. They're trash can atheists.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and the Amazing Atheist comes to mind.
There are trash can ones, and there are ones who specifically go out to do attack ads against other people. You'll find them if you look for them.
Yeah, they're definitely out there.
Well, there's the whole thing is there's shitty people in all walks of life. There's shitty Christians, there's shitty atheists, there's shitty, there's shitty everything, and there's good in everything. So.
This is my point. Well, here's the atheists defending the fucking dirty. Their behaviors, there's no excuse, and it's not that there's shit people in every walk. I'm trying to make the point that in this walk of life, in this community, the number of shitty Christians far outweighs the number of shitty atheists.
But I could make a list.
I'm up for the challenge of making the list.
Make a list and check it twice.
Yes. Well, also it's YouTube. You see, I compare that to, in terms of extreme, it's about making money, right? So the extreme Christians, they need to be extreme on YouTube, just like the mega preachers have to be extreme, because the more money they make, that's what they care about. They try to say they're good people and teaching the good book, but really about making money.
Here's the YouTube algorithm. Basically, if you're not funny, or if you're not beautiful, then you got to be extreme. Basically, I mean, that's just my cursory experience with YouTube.
Let me jump on that for a second, because there's a couple of channels out there who get thousands of views, and they have very popular shows, and they have very popular hosts, and most of the people that they interact with from the Christian side are of the ilk of people like Otangelo Grasso, who is so far gone. And I don't want to get into whether he has mental issues or what his history is or whatever, but that man does not represent the average questioning theist.
True.
And when people like those shows with thousands of viewers go out and entice and recruit the worst, the bottom feeders of the theist side, They're not helping the atheist commentary on the situation.
Yeah.
They're not inviting new people to it, and they are not interacting in any useful way with a questioning theist. When you look at Shannon Q and the Elevate the Discourse, I mean, there's a reason that's her tagline, is because people like her and myself and Paula Gia and other people have been watching this nonsense go on for 5 years. And the atheist content on YouTube is hyperbolic. It's who's going to get the most hits, who's going to get the most likes, who's going to get the most coverage, who's going to get to monetization fast enough, right? And it's true that if you put together a really sensible, good show where you interact with people who have good, honest questions, nobody watches it because we know what the answers are. We've heard them 1,000 times. You've got to get somebody to light the boat on fire before you can call 911. Right?
I like that, Dave. Very eloquent, sir. Very eloquent.
Look at who the biggest YouTube, the two of the biggest YouTube stars are. It's the fucking Paul brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And they are the most despicable human beings. Like I had a friend who's a sports fan. They were talking about like the Mayweather Paul fight. I'm going. I've never paid money to see a Mayweather fight because I think he's a piece of shit human being who use women as punching bags. And the Paul brothers are despicable human beings too. Like I personally don't give a shit either way. I would love to have seen Mayweather knock the shit out of Paul just because, someone deserves an ass whipping, but then I would love to have seen someone knock the shit out of Mayweather as well,
I have to end the stream pretty soon. Rage, I think you were going to say something, and then I'm going to switch over to Simply Secular Dave for a second. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I would say, for what, both sides have their agendas. Christians are definitely here trying to convert people or trying to push their interpretation. Atheists most of us, we're here to normalize atheism, one, and for two, we don't have support systems. We don't have communities where we can talk, so we come to YouTube and that's where we get it out. When it comes to like elevating the discourse, there's definitely a place for that. There should be atheists doing that, but there should also be atheists talking to the gutter trash Christians, because those gutter trash Christians represent 48% of the country. So like, they are by no means a minority in this country. The Smokey Saints of the world, the Matt Powells of the world, the YECs, they're the majority of Christians in this country, and we shouldn't pretend otherwise.
Well, I will say, if I could just spin off that before we get to Simply Secular Dave, I would say that a vocal and deadly minority of them, the Trumpers, the fascists, the evangelicals, they are dangerous. They may not represent a majority of Christians, but they're enough to overthrow the country. If
I can just throw one point on what Rage just said, those people that you're talking about who watch all of Otangelo's content, who watch all of Darth Dawkins' content, who are on the Discord, who are on that, they don't watch atheist content. They don't watch it. If they do, they don't watch it honestly. They're looking for gotcha moments. Those people you're not going to break through to. We are shouting at a concrete wall.
Oh yeah, with Darth and people like that. Yeah, you're not going to make any ground.
Yeah, but we don't need to worry about them because they're not going to convert to atheism. Flat earthers aren't going to convert to atheism. We just have to deal with the people who are reachable. Yeah, there you go, Andy.
There we go. We're going.
Who's popular on social media?
So, give me 26 seconds.
26, you're on.
Share me screen.
Okay.
Palate cleanser. Let's watch a dog save another dog.
I'm intrigued by this. Yes, go ahead. Let's play it.
For 34 minutes? That's not saving him.
He's got no fucking hands, bro.
Yeah, I was just about to say, no full cover, no railing.
I challenge all of the panel and all of the audience to find me one video of a cat saving anybody.
Wow. Just throwing a bomb there, Sammy.
Yeah,
we have to
the
go.
cat would just sit there licking its paws, wouldn't it, watching, licking its paws. That's all the cat would do.
All right. I just want to thank everyone in the panel for coming on. I want to thank everyone in the chat for contributing.
Have a great weekend.
A lot of fun. Yeah. I'm doing stuff Sunday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be dropping that Monica Miller interview too on Saturday. And so she was brilliant, actually. It was a really good interview. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.
You too.